Sometimes we make an assumption about the profession and idealize it without actually realizing what our life could look like on a daily basis. Of course, life is long and it's great to try different things, but I also think it's kind of amazing to commit to something and master your skill over the years. I want to honestly tell you what being a tattoo artist can look like so you can make a more conscious decision. Not only using myself as an example, because there is a lot of different paths you can follow as a tattooist, so I'll try to show you different options in a concise way if possible. And just to be clear, the second half is all about the positives, as I want to mainly encourage people to give it a go if they have doubts about this industry being for them. The unknown and insecurity that comes with this profession can be stressful. We need to remember that tattoo is a luxury, not a necessity. So during hard times, it is more likely that someone will cancel their appointment with you than their dentist. Cancellations and no-shows happen all the time, to everyone. I will never understand why someone confirms their appointment a couple days before and then never shows up, but it happens, and for me it all comes at once. I won't have a cancellation for a month or two, and then suddenly 3 in a week. And it rarely feels like a day off, because you didn't plan anything for that day, possibly already spent time working on the design, and usually it's just disappointing. The main thing I'm trying to say is that you never know how much money you'll make, so it's important to start learning how to manage your finances right from the beginning. The second thing is that if you're not super organized or have an assistant or a manager, you'll end up replying to messages all the time. It's important to figure out a system which you'll use to reply to inquiries and book your appointments. Unfortunately, some people are extremely impatient and they want answers now. And I've learned that if they don't respect my time or can't fill in an inquiry form, which saves me a lot of time, they might just be difficult to work with, and it's not worth going that extra mile to get them booked in. However, I used to get so excited in the beginning of my career whenever someone showed an interest in booking in, and spent so much time on chatting with them, emailing back and forth, designing, redesigning, just to make sure I get to tattoo. So yeah, you need to find your balance, know your limits. It's not easy, you just need to respect yourself. Next one might not be a downside to everyone, but if you think you are just going to draw and tattoo, it might be an issue for you. Admin, personal assistant, photographer, editor, social media specialist, and a couple more is what you will need to be to build your client base and constantly expand it. Although it's fun once you acquire all the skills because your job is varied and most of it is creative, but it can be overwhelming. You will have to learn to say no if you're a people pleaser like I was, otherwise you'll end up tattooing 7 days a week and a lot of designs you don't enjoy. But that's enough, because even with all the downsides, it's the best thing to do, so let me tell you why you should go for it if you are still debating. If you are someone who likes to constantly broaden their horizons, tattooing can take you into so many places, literally and figuratively. The beautiful tradition of guest spotting allows you to travel while you're working, meet artists from all around the world, make connections, and I'm obviously aware not everyone has the privilege to travel, come to the EU, UK, or go to the States. But there is a lot of options to acquire a visa available now, and I hope it's just going to become more and more inclusive. Apart from guest spotting, traveling to conventions has the same perks and helps you build a broader client base. Personally, I choose the first option as it's just less chaotic and I find it easier to talk to people in a more intimate setting. If you are more of a 9-to-5 kind of person who wants to travel just for holiday rather than mixing it with work, and prefers to reduce their responsibilities to a minimum, I don't see a problem. I don't think running a studio is for everyone. Even if you hire a manager, there will still be a lot more to think about. For example, paying this person. If your peace of mind is the most valuable to you and you don't feel the need to increase your income, a safe, comfortable space to work in, where the team respects each other and the clients, is all you need. In contrast to university degree or other apprenticeships, the length of your tattoo apprenticeship can vary depending on how much work and time you put into it. Of course, it also depends on your mentor, who might decide you are not touching the machine for 6 months, tattooing people for 12 or whatever. But I believe it should vary depending on how quickly you are progressing, how confident you are, and your dedication. If you have to have a part-time job or you're responsible for a little human being, it's understandable you might not progress as quickly as someone who can be in the studio all day, every day. But hey, good things take time, and it's better to do it in your own pace than not at all. Doing 3 tattoos a week or 2 a day? Once you're a qualified tattoo artist, it's your call. Another argument providing how much freedom tattooing gives you. But it's not always easy to find the golden mean. Or at least it wasn't for me. I was lucky enough to be constantly booked up about a year after starting my apprenticeship. Apart from clients that were coming directly to me, the studio where I worked had a big client base, so that helped a lot as well. But like I said in the previous video, I didn't know my limits and totally overworked myself. And I know for some people it can go the other way, because it's not always easy finding clients at the beginning, and important to have a regular practice to develop your skills. So now, let's talk about my favorite thing. No one tells you how often or how long you can go away for. I have friends who go on holiday twice a year for a month, and others who prefer shorter breaks more often. It's all up to you. You can disappear for 6 months if you want, you can combine holiday with work, go for a guest spot for a couple of days to Milan, and then chill by the Como Lake for a week. That's what I'm gonna do this year, actually. And last but not least, you don't need a tie or a uniform. You can wear whatever you want, be whoever you want, and truly express yourself. Like I said in the beginning, it's nice to master your skill, but also try different things. And in tattooing, you can develop your style all the time or change it completely. It's just so much freedom.